Well, this is coming in as we were recording. WWE agent Scotty Too Hotty, Scott Garland, has asked for his release. I have a statement here.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to hear this.
Scotty Too Hotty, I believe this is him, Scott Garland, at the Scotty Too Hotty on Twitter. Today I have asked for my release from World Wrestling Entertainment. 30 years ago, I stepped into a WWE ring for the very first time. I have lived my dream 100 times over. Some of my most special memories will always be from the last 5 years working with NXT. The black and gold brand was something special, and I am proud to have been a small part of that. I have always promised myself that I would never be part of something solely for the paycheck, and that was where I was at.
Wow.
I told myself that I would walk away if I ever got to that point, so that is what I have chosen to do. Coaching and producing the stars of NXT will always be the highlight of my life. I love you all more than you will ever know. And that's a statement from Scotty Too Hotty. What are your thoughts, Jim?
I love Scott as a person and as a talent. He was always a nice guy. He was very professional. He worked his ass off. He was the well-behaved member of Too Cool. And you know, it's got to that point. He was a guy that loved the business, loved what he was doing, and wanted to make a difference, wanted to help. And now he's just doing it for the money, as he said. And he wasn't happy with that. And I don't blame him. And you've got to think that everybody that was working on NXT that believed in what they were doing or what the product was before is because it's been changed 180 degrees. It's diametrically opposed to what it is now. So you would have to think that most of those people were not happy with the changes or their work environment or whatever.
And he specifically pointed out the black and gold brand. So those words specifically make me think that, okay, I don't like the direction they're going in.
Yeah, instead of the finger paints that have been spilled all over their new logo. But I mean, it's the same kind of statement as a lot of the boys are making when they ask for their release. They're making that statement. They're just not doing it as articulately as Scotty was there, but that's what they're doing. They're saying, I don't like this anymore. It's just, it's a job. It's just, I'm not having fun. I don't agree with this. It's a chore. I'm over it. However you want to, quantify that or describe it or whatever, that's what is happening with a lot of these guys. So now you've got not only wrestlers asking for their releases, but the agents and the producers that are supposed to be leading, teaching, and or training these guys. So that's not a good fucking look.
The fact that he did this publicly, I mean, I'm sure plenty of people ask for their releases and we don't find out about it until after the fact. It happens all the time. He did this publicly. What does that tell you?
That tells me he wants to leave. I can't. I respect that too. That he was that open with it. Maybe he thinks, well, if I say this out loud, they'll give it to me. Maybe he's tried and they wouldn't give it to him before. Maybe this is the second time, or maybe he just wants to, get a little extra insurance that they'll let him go.
This is a really nice way of saying the product sucks and I want to be away from this. That's what this is.
And they probably, I would think, don't want him sitting around telling everybody, yeah, this shit sucks and I don't want to be a part of it. So maybe they'll let him go.
And there have been wrestlers who have asked for their releases and not received them. There's no way they won't grant him his release now after this, right? What do you think?
Well, I mean, what do you do when somebody has basically come out and not only told you, but the rest of the world, I don't like this and don't want to do it anymore? Then how can you not really, and they're not you can't say, well, I don't want to turn a top talent over to the competition. I mean, I'm not saying Scotty wasn't a good worker, but he's not an active wrestler anymore. I don't know that he wants to wrestle anymore. He just doesn't want to be there. So it's not like, well, we've got to hold Roman Reigns to his contract so that he doesn't go to the opposition. It's just here you got a guy that's unhappy and doesn't want to work there anymore. You're not going to let him go? You're going to hold him to his... They can't make him get on the plane and go to work. They can only hold him to whatever contract he signed, so he couldn't be an agent or a producer for another company, that would be fairly fucking, what's the word I'm searching for? Shitty. I don't want a guy to go produce. It's not like they're letting Pat Patterson go, with all due respect to Scotty. It's not like he's the genius booker of the age or whatever. He's just a guy that wants to go work somewhere else, or maybe just wants to go home and doesn't want to do this anymore. We don't know, but he doesn't want to be there. So how do you keep a guy in that position? You can't even make the statement, well, we can't let our top TV stars go to the competition. He's a fucking producer. So I don't know.